Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to Upkick MMA, episode 241. I am Brendan. UFC Fight Night, Vera versus Sandhagen. We are going to cover the main card here. Cory Sandhagen taking on Marlon Vera. Holm versus Yana Santos. Lingo versus Landwehr. Maycee Barber, Andrea Lee. Tucker Lutz, Daniel Pineda, and Chidi Njokuani versus Duraev. So we're going to cover the main card, all of those fights here. We're going to break them all down real quick before we get started. If you like podcasts about MMA, you like MMA in general, you like fight breakdowns, I do that stuff here. I break down the UFC, Bellator, PFL, ONE FC, all that good stuff. Let's get started. Man, Cory Sandhagen's freaking good, huh? Huh? Like, seriously. We'll talk about the judging at the end here. God dang, this freaking camera. Focus. All right. We'll talk about the judging at the end. There's another fight that had some questionable judging. There was a couple moments I don't quite remember right now. We'll go through it. We'll look at the judges' scorecards together. I have not looked at them yet. So one thing to note, Dan Miragliotta was the referee for this fight, and he was actually a judge for an earlier fight. He was one of the guys who had those questionable decisions. Questionable scorecards, that is. Anyway, Cory was the aggressor early on, pressuring, mixing it up with the strikes. Cheeto was just playing defense, right? So the story of this fight going in was Cheeto slow starter. Cory Sandhagen's going to get out in front, and what's Cheeto going to be able to do as the fight goes on? Is he going to be able to get the finish? Is he going to be able to chase it? And Cory made statements like saying, hey, hoping for a late finish or searching for a late finish or counting on a late finish, any other version of whatever that phrase you want to come up with. It's dangerous in general. It's not a consistent way to win, and the fact that he's managed to put this many wins together is a testament to his ability, absolutely, but also, there's a little bit of luck involved there too, right? Because, it takes a willing fighter, and Cory Sandhagen just showed that. He was like, hey, I'm going to be smart in the last 3 rounds. I'm not going to let him play his game. I'm not going to let him steal rounds from me, because that's what he did against, I think it was Rob Font. Yeah, when he got outstruck by Rob Font. Look at this, 271 to 159. He stole, I think, 3 of these rounds, 4 of those rounds, by landing one big shot in each one of them. And that's the thing. He can steal a round easy because he's got that power. And Cory Sandhagen was just never there. He just didn't stay in the pocket long enough. He kept moving. He stayed on his toes. He stayed varied enough, and he did a good job. So in this first round, Cory was kicking low, landing up top with these reaching hooks. He would reach real long and reach around the tight guard of Marlon Vera to land. Cory got the takedown at 230, landed some really good elbows on the ground. Cheeto did virtually nothing in this first round. I said you could give it a 10-8 because 10-8 isn't just about how close you were to finishing the fight. It's about the differential between the two. So if the differential is so large, like that one guy did absolutely nothing and the other guy did a significant amount of damage or had a ton of control, a 10-8 is warranted. I didn't give it a 10-8. I went 10-9, but I could see it. Look at the striking numbers here, 32-5 in favor of Sandhagen, not even close. He had him on the ground. He had him controlled for 2 minutes and 30 seconds, and he landed some decent ground and pound while he was down there. A great round for him. Cory landed a great right hand in the second round here, pressing in a left hook to the body. He landed this combo a lot where he would lead with this, not a looping left hook, but a wider left hook to the body. He would lead with it down low and then follow up with either a right hand over the top, or he went with a low kick once. It was beautiful. I'll mention it later when he does. I think that was in the 3rd or 4th round. Vera was actually jabbing in the second round, so he was starting to throw punches, but he didn't really land much. Cory landed some uppercuts, and he went for a takedown. Cheeto was trying for a guillotine, but no dice there. Cory landed some short shots while they were down, finding some elbows in tight when he could. Back up, and then Cory was staying safe. Cheeto was trying to catch him and catch him making a mistake and steal the round, but he gets nothing. You get nothing. You lose. Seriously, though, you could see it at every end of each round. Vera moves forward and throws big shots. Yoel Romero used to do this. Who else did this? Oh man, I can't. I don't have to think of any more examples, but there's been other fighters who do this where they lay low during the whole round, and then when the last 20 seconds go, that's when they know, like, okay, I'm gonna catch him with something big, and they just start throwing. Even that, he didn't throw that much. I mean, he only threw 15 shots here. He got outstruck 18-6, which, not quite the differential it was in the first round, but you look at the control time. Cory Sandhagen had 2 minutes and 50 seconds of control time, 20 more than he did in the first round. Easily Cory Sandhagen's round. Cheeto, he just didn't do anything in either one of these rounds, to be honest. Jason Perillo in mid-rounds is like, hey, you're bumming me out. What the hell's going on? Let's go, pick it up. And the whole talk was, like I said, Cheeto starts slow. Cory's gonna be able to get out in front enough and stay safe, whatever. Guess what? Cory did. Cory with a really cool combo, landing the left hook to the body and a right low kick there. He landed it here in the third round. Vera landing a good low kick finally, and his jab was pumping out there a little bit more. This is when he really started to pick up his offense. And then Cory was also landing the jab. His volume was doing a great job not letting Vera throw. So he was doing such a good job putting stuff out there. It was preventing Vera from getting any offense going. It was beautiful. The way he was doing the stuff was fantastic. Vera with a great left hand, and then Cory returns with some more volume and a great uppercut. This right uppercut also landed from Sandhagen multiple times. Sandhagen landed a left hand, then another right uppercut. Vera turned up the pressure this round with 20 seconds left, trying to steal it again, missing twice, throwing a spinning heel kick at one point, and then another high kick or front kick, and missing wildly because Cory was circling really well. I had him up 30-27 at this point. 32-20 in favor of Sandhagen. I don't see how you can give Vera that round. He just didn't land anything of significance that would, outdo the amount of shots that he took coming back at him. You want to look at, maybe head strikes in the third round. Okay, 17 of Cory Sandhagen's significant strikes were to the head. I understand that not all of them were knockout blows, but that doesn't matter. Plenty of them had some sting on them, especially those two uppercuts. Vera landed a decent amount. He landed 8. But if you look across the board, he just got beat in every category, and his leg kicks were not astonishing this round. It's not like he landed so many hard leg kicks this round to outdo some of the damage Sandhagen did. So obviously that's going to be for Sandhagen as well. And then fourth round here, the uppercut from Cory landed again. Vera did manage to stop a takedown this round, which was impressive. Cory was landing enough on the feet to stay out in front as far as significant strikes go. Cory was staying on the outside, moving well, making Vera chase him, then stopping to pop him a little bit. Every time Vera starts moving forward, Cory circles off to the side and then starts throwing back. He jabs his way out, throws a couple strikes, uses some interesting movement, and then circles out. Vera landed maybe 6 decent shots that round. It was a nothing round for him. So this fourth round was actually worse for him than the third round. He didn't get hit as much, but he definitely didn't hit as much either. He didn't even attempt as much offense, attempting only 38 shots instead of the 56 he attempted in the third. So Cory attempted 67 shots, which is the same as he attempted the first. He landed 24 to Marlon Vera's 13. Another great round for Sandhagen. I had him up 49-46. Okay. I had him up 40-36 at this point. Vera was fighting off the takedown attempt and landing okay, starting this fifth round. Cory fought for the takedown, gets a second one against the cage. Vera was squirming around and trying for using the butterflies, anything he could to elevate Cory, but Cory stayed on top of him. Vera ended up getting back up with 2 minutes and 50 seconds left. Cory using the kicks to keep the distance. Vera was still not firing. Vera landed a good body hook, then Cory landed upstairs to counter. Vera with a good shot, now trying to do something right at the end of the fight, but it's too late. I did give him this last round. I felt like he did land more damage in this round, although if you gave all 5 rounds to Sandhagen, I would not be mad at it because he outstruck him here as well, 22-14, and had control time on the ground, landing some good shots there with Vera sticking his fingers in Sandhagen's ears or eyes or grabbing the cage at some point. I don't think he was doing it intentionally, but it happened. So, One note, I had it 49-46 in favor of Sandhagen. Something interesting happened here. they're talking about how Vera has like this insane cardio, and because Bisping has a little bit of the inside track here, being a pupil of Jason Perillo, right? So being a pupil of Jason Perillo, he has I don't know if he's in tight with Marlon Vera or whatever it might be, but when he interviewed him, it was a little bit off. I didn't understand quite what was going on. It seemed like when he was talking about Vera, talking about how good he is and talking about his cardio, I feel like he has some inside information. Not that this is illegal or anything. He's just like, the way he's talking about him, it sounds like Vera is a guy who can go the distance and really put some output out there. It's weird that a guy who's touted for having cardio waits until the last 20 seconds of a 25-minute fight to throw a barrage of offense, because that's what happened. That's what we saw here. For 24 minutes and 40 seconds, Vera had moments where he would throw a couple shots, he would move forward, but he wasn't really throwing a barrage of offense for a consistent period of time until the last 20 seconds of the fight. So what was he waiting for? I don't know. Real quick though, one this was a split decision apparently. It's wrong. That guy's objectively wrong. I know that I didn't agree with Saul D'Amato on two of the cards tonight, but we'll get into those ones. On this one, you see Chris Lee has 1, 2, 4, and 5 for Sandhagen. That I understand that one. Round three. Round 3 was probably Vera's best round other than maybe the last one. I felt like Vera did land some decent shots in that last round, but he did get taken down. In the third round, he defended the takedown. So yeah, Chris Lee wanting to give that third round to Vera. Maybe. Maybe. I don't agree with it, but maybe. Saul D'Amato giving all 5 rounds to Cory Sandhagen. I said I wouldn't be mad at it. I'm not. And then here, Joel Ojeda. You're wrong, brother. You're just wrong. He gave the first 2 rounds to Sandhagen and gave the last 3 rounds to Marlon Vera. That's wrong. Okay? There is no way you give all 3 of the last rounds to Marlon Vera. How do you give round 4 to Marlon Vera? He landed half the shots. He landed half the shots and did nothing to Sandhagen. That's horrible. A cool call out. Sandhagen said that he wanted to fight Merab before he fights Aljo. I think that's kind of cool. If not for anything else, that he's already fought Sterling and he knows that Sterling's matched up with Henry Cejudo right now. So maybe a smarter call out than necessarily a respectful one. Regardless, Marlon Vera should definitely drop out of the top 5 here. No, he can't, because he can't go below Rob Font. So they probably trade spots. Peter Yan, or maybe Peter Yan bounces down to 5, and Peter Yan drops down to 5, Marlon Vera 4, and then Sandhagen up to 3. Sean O'Malley still farting around out here. He needs a matchup. I know he's supposed to get the next title shot, but it ain't happening. So we don't know what's happening with that one. Cory was calling out Merab Dvalishvili, so I'd be interested in that one. I think that's a good matchup. It'd be fun to watch. Great fight for Sandhagen. Marlon Vera. I know people love him because of the finishes. I just it was never my he just was never my cup of tea. That's all. That's all it is. He was just never my cup of tea. Okay, Holly Holm beating Yana Santos in a decision. This one was interesting. Santos with the pressure right away and in on the clinch against the fence, back and forth against the fence, jockeying for position. In space, Santos landed one decent shot, but then Holly was landed a really great elbow when they separated because they got back into the clinch again. She ended up landing 3 front kicks. Santos slips and ended up on her back, giving Holly the round. In my opinion, that first round, because Holly Holm, she did get outlanded, apparently. Santos did outland her 12-7. The last little bit of that round with Holly Holm on top landing damage really did it for me, and that pushed her over to winning that round for me. Had her up 10-9. Holly front kicks and pushes Santos down. In tight, Holly got the body lock takedown, which was interesting. And then Holly working inside control, got the crucifix for a moment. She worked her way to mount with 20 seconds left. She was close to finishing the fight, kind of. I gave her a 10-8 for that round. So I had it up to I had her up 20-17. She landed 16 to 16-7 significant strikes in favor of Holly Holm. Then this last round, and she also had 4 minutes of control time. So she was on top for 4 minutes of this round, obviously crazy dominant. Holly worked for a double. She worked for double underhooks and then got the body lock takedown again. Holly was just keeping the pressure on when she was on top. Santos looked kind of lost down there. It didn't look like she knew what she was doing, especially when she was inside control or even half guard. It looked like she just doesn't practice that a lot or something was going on. Holm landed a left hand, then got a double leg lift takedown. I gave it another 10-8 round, to be honest. I had her up 30-25. Santos is coming off of childbirth. Obviously, her maiden name was Kunitskaya. She's, oh my goodness, yeah, she's married to Thiago Santos, and their child is 11 months old. So she's less than a year removed from giving birth. Obviously, that takes a major toll on the body, which means she wasn't fighting either for a significant period of time. It's hard to come back from that, and she's going to need some adjustments. Obviously, Holly Holm is an older fighter, being 41 years old, but she still got a lot of fight left in her. I don't know if she's ever going to be champion again. Depends on if Amanda Nunes retires. Holly was giving thanks to everybody. She seems very grateful. It's just, I don't know, man. Her last fight against Vera, losing a split decision, so it's not like she's totally out of it. And before that, she beat Raquel Pennington and Irene Aldana. So she could have been, next in line for a title shot yet again. But, oh man, what is it? She had the first title shot. I remember that. Okay, so obviously the first title shot was against Ronda Rousey. But then I forgot about this one. She had the title fight for the 145 division against Jermaine Durandamy, which she lost a stupid decision. Jermaine hit her twice after the belt and didn't get a point deduction. That was horrible. Then she did lose that fight to Cyborg, again for the title. And then obviously losing to Nunes. So every time she's fought for a title since that win against... but this division, though, guys, like, it's slim pickings, man. Who are you guys excited about in the women's bantamweight division? The women's division outside of strawweight, I gotta tell you, even with Valentina losing and kind of opening up that division a little bit, I'm not as excited as I am for the 115. I'll tell you that. So, I wonder if my cat rubs up against this microphone. Because every time I come over here, my nose starts... Damn allergies. Anyway. Oh, that's what I was saying. So, who are you guys excited for in the bantamweight division? You got Holly Holm, Ketlin Vera. Mayra Buena Silva. Misha Tate still freaking ranked for some reason. Anyway, good win for Holly Holm. She's extending her career and putting together, a decent resume. And she's a known entity and a known quantity. So they could do it. They can give her a title shot again. Nate Landwehr versus Austin Lingo. This was a fun fight while it lasted, especially that first round was really good. So Lingo leading with the jab while keeping. He was leading with the jab really well. He's keeping the boxing really clean, especially early on in this first round. Even throughout the whole fight, he was just doing such a good job with his boxing. Nate landed a hard, tight right hook. Two of the broadcasters didn't catch it. Paul Felder is the only one who mentioned it. And then a beautiful low kick. Nate slipped and landed slips, and then he gets up and lands a really great uppercut counter. It was pretty cool. Lingo is staying on in his face with the 1-2. Nate was now pressuring with about 40 seconds left, so he started being the one pressuring forward. It was a really close round. Judges will probably go to Lingo because of the headshots. But I feel that Nate did enough damage to kind of go. I gave him that round. I gave Nate the first round. He did outland him too, 34-30. But if you look at that, and the head strikes, he beat him in the head strikes too. Yeah, I gave that first round to Landwehr. Nate was staying in range and pressuring to start the second round, landing front kicks to the body, pulling his head back, and landing beautiful counters. He was much more reserved in this fight than we've seen from him in the past. Lingo landed a hard right hand at one point, but then Nate was landing pressure. He was landing well, pressuring forward, and he ended up getting a head kick to land in tight. Nate with the takedown gets the back right away, and then the rear naked choke finish. So great win for Landwehr. He does have some talent. I know that he's young in his relatively young in his UFC career, and he's got the loss to Herbert Burns and Julian Erosa, but he is making improvements every single time. He does look better, and I'd like to see him stick around for a little bit and see what he can do. He's got some raw talent, and he is a fun character to listen to afterwards. Say and look at these biceps and stuff. That's kind of a dork, but whatever. Oh man! All right, here's another bad decision: Andrea Lee versus Maycee Barber. Maycee Barber getting the win here. Also, the nickname The Future. Does that nickname go away when you are the champion? Is there an age limit to The Future? Because I understand, a nickname like Wonder Boy. You could say like, oh, when do we take that Wonder Boy name away from him? He's already 40 years old. That one's kind of like whatever. This one is, I'm the future. But are you though? So now she could that nickname can still stick for a little bit. But if she loses a little bit, or let's say she becomes a champion, are you still the future if you are the current champion? And what if happens when you age up? Like, are you still the future? I think she's going to need to, not a lot of foresight in her nickname. I'm kind of doing an aside here because I'm a little pissed off because this was a horrible decision. Okay, let's talk about the round, shall we? Back and forth early with kicks. They're both landing, and they're both landing pretty well. Lee with the body lock takedown. Lee was inside control at one point, got her arm stuck in the legs of Barber, which was interesting, but Barber landed a couple shots, but she was on her back, and those weren't hard shots. It was kind of strange. They ended up getting back up with 145 left. KGB was doing a good job slipping and landing some combos going to the body. Barber was landing, but also getting countered. The difference maker was a control time, so I had the first round for Lee, 10-9. So if you look at the striking difference, 17, good grief, stay in place, 17-12 in favor of Maycee Barber. So if you just look at the striking numbers, you can say, oh, clearly Barber did more damage. And then you can look at the head strikes, 11-3. Clearly she did more damage. Go back and watch it, and you tell me that those shots did a ton of damage to Lee, and I don't think so. Those 5 extra strikes that she landed, I don't think so. I think it was close enough on the feet to where we can go to look at control time, and she had 2 minutes of control time. So I can see giving that first round. You could give that first round to Barber, I guess, but I gave it to Lee. Second round. Trading kicks early in the second round, neither committing to an entry. Barber with the takedown, and then she ended up getting, but they got right back up, so there was virtually no control time for her. You can see here 2 seconds of control time. Lee with the head kick as Barber landed a low kick. Then Barber landed a right hand, and Lee on the fence for a second. They swing back and forth, but then Lee grabs the body for a takedown. Lee kept her down till the end of the round, landed a bit more damage, and I gave her that round as well. 1 minute and 54 seconds of control time for her. Striking number 17-15 this time. So they're even closer than they were the first round. I had her up 20-18. Barber was chasing her down, trying to unload, but Lee gets a takedown. Lee gets a takedown, but they end up getting right back up this time. Barber was doing a good job throwing offense out there, even if it doesn't land. And then she gets Lee down on the ground, but they get right back up. They're in the side clinch while they're standing up. It wasn't even like over-unders. It was just kind of like a body lock side. I don't know. But anyway, Lee grabs Barber's leg and just whips her to the ground, throws her down there. Lee got another takedown with 50 seconds left. Lee did the least amount of work on the ground in this last round, and Barber did a better job of staying on her feet. I think you could give even this third round to Lee, even though she got outstruck 14-12. So I gave this last round to Barber. I thought this was a better round for her. She got controlled less time, and she had some more control time of her own. It was 1 minute and 20 seconds of control time for Lee only, and 43 seconds for Barber. So I think the difference was not enough to outdo the amount of damage Barber did on her feet in this round. But as you can see, the judges do not agree with me. So, all three judges gave Maycee Barber the first round. Okay? Second round here. Chris Lee gave it to Lee. This is because they have the same name. No, that's stupid, obviously. That's not the case. Frank Colazzo gave it to Barber. And then Dan Regalata gave it to Barber. And then Chris Lee gives Lee the last round. Frank gives Lee the last round, and Dan gives Maycee Barber. Just going off the other two judges, how they scored it, it's not that crazy that Dan gave all 3 rounds to Barber. But I just didn't see it. I just didn't. Maybe I'm wrong. Explain to me why I'm wrong. Maybe I wasn't paying attention. Maybe I missed something. I just didn't see it that way. Alrighty then. Alright, Chidi Njokuani versus Albert Duraev. This fight was weird. And you'll look at the striking numbers and you'll see what I'm saying. But I think they got this one wrong too. Oh, Dan Regalata again. Oh, good for you. Hard kicks coming from Chidi early. He was staying on the outside. Duraev caught a kick, swept the leg, got the takedown, going to the Dagestani hip ride and landing some decent hooks along the fence there. Njokuani ended up getting back up, and then a body lock sweep took him back down. First round was a Duraev round for sure. So much control time, decent amount of damage from dominant position. So I am up 10-9. Significant strikes really don't tell the tale here. There's only 12-4. But if you look at the control time, 3 minutes and 25 seconds. Total strikes 31-7 in favor of Duraev. Obviously, that's his round. Njokuani isn't landing much in the second round early, but he was staying away and landing enough, in my opinion. Duraev was chasing him all around the cage and is landing when he enters, but he takes a couple in return. They say the striking numbers are in favor of Duraev, but I just didn't see it. The damage should go to Njokuani in the second round. So if you look at the striking numbers, I guess Duraev was ahead 16-14, but when I was watching it, I just didn't see anything from him that was landing so hard. Maybe I must have missed a couple strikes. Njokuani definitely landed the bigger strikes in this round, especially those body kicks. Wait. Oh, maybe. Oh, no, that was the last round. No, he just landed more damage in this round. I gave this to him, 19-19. And now here's the last round. So a huge body kick from Njokuani. That was was enough to move Duraev back. Duraev was in on a takedown attempt, and he ended up pushing him back to the fence, but nothing was doing there. The tight boxing, when he uses it, Chidi was landing really well. Duraev was kind of sloppy. The body kicks are the best strikes from Chidi. I just don't see how Duraev gets this one. I had him up 29-28. 22 strikes to 17 in favor of Njokuani in the last round. And honestly, I stand by what I said. The striking numbers were so close in the second round. It's got to come down to, damage from those. And I'm pretty sure. Where the heck? I don't see the scorecards here. Oh, man, they got the Daniel Pineda, Tucker Lutz ones on here twice. God dang it. I want to see how they scored it. Let's refresh the page, shall we? And see if it fixes it. Sure as hell didn't. God dang it. Anyway, I don't agree with it. I really don't. Dan Migliotta given the decision. I don't agree with Saul D'Amato on this one either. I really don't. I think that second round, it was close, but it wasn't close enough to where Duraev, his volume did enough. He landed 2 more shots. And yeah, Njokuani was retreating, but he was landing more damage. I don't understand how there's even... I really don't understand the discussion point on that one. I think they got that one wrong as well. All right, Daniel Pineda versus Tucker Lutz. Good fight for Daniel Pineda. So they were trading low kicks early. Pineda got the body lock takedown. Pineda landing those low kicks. He was getting countered nearly every time, though. As the round went on, Tucker Lutz kind of figured out the pattern. Pineda landed a right hand that put Lutz down for a second, right back up. He gets and then lands a combo of his own. Pineda throwing 2 giant overhand rights, and I gave him that round because I felt like he did more damage, even though he was down in the striking numbers 24-17 in favor of Lutz, but I felt like Pineda did more damage, especially with that knockdown. Lutz landed a left hook twice and then takes a right hand from Pineda in return. Lutz has an issue not bringing that left hand back. So every time he would get cracked, it's because he would extend with the left, either for a straight or a hook or whatever he's throwing, and he would bring it back to the pocket. He wouldn't bring it back up here and defend it, so it was wide open all day, and Pineda picked up on it and landed right on him. Pineda was in on a guillotine. He used that to defend the takedown, landed a great knee to the head, dropping Lutz, and ended up on top. And after letting the guillotine go, Pineda adjusts and ends up getting the guillotine after a second attempt. So great fight for Pineda, getting that win there. I thought Lutz was having an okay fight, to be honest. I thought he was doing all right. I just think Pineda just kind of had his number. It seemed like they were about 50-50, and when Lutz went to his bread and butter with the takedown, he just got stuck in there. So if you look at Pineda's career, this Cub Swanson fight was pretty freaking cool from Cub Swanson, but he's mainly just a veteran at this point. He's been fighting since 2012. He took that big hiatus from 2014 to 2020. Then he comes back and beats the crap out of Herbert Burns, who's had his struggles over the past couple of years. But anyway, since then, losing to Cub Swanson, and then that no contest to Andre Fili. I swear I remember that one. I'd have to go back. Oh, it was an eye poke. That's what it was. So, and he hasn't fought. This is his first fight in 2 years because he gets injured. He's a little bit old, he's on the older side for a fighter, and he doesn't seem like he's making the rush to become a champ. So I don't know what his plans are going forward, but this might be one of the last ones. Apparently, this was the last fight on his contract as well. So, all right, guys, thank you guys so much for stopping by. Real quick, one more time, if you do like this stuff and you want to see more of it, cool, subscribe to the channel so you know when the next video is coming out. I do 2 or 3 videos every single week breaking this stuff down. If you're looking for the prelims, it's in the next video. Should be a relatively short one. There's only 4 fights on it. So thank you guys so much for stopping by. If this is the only video you watch this week, thank you. Thank you. Appreciate your time. It means a lot to me. I love you all. Have an amazing week.